Hello, everyone. John Bruna here with the Daily Quote. Let's go ahead and get right to it. Fearlessness does not mean an absence of fear. It means we recognize the fear arising, but we do not succumb to it. We engage in healthy actions regardless of the fear that arises. So important to remember that fear comes in many forms. There's a big bandwidth of fear from, well, just feeling a little anxious or shy. Might feel a sense of actual terror. It could be a little bit paralyzed. When you think about fear from very small fears or insecurity, form of fear. Knowing that fear is not just me being terrified or feeling my body kind of just tense up and shut down, don't know what to do, paralyzed. But actually, smaller forms of fear. Just a little shy, a little insecure, some anxiety, maybe a little bit, maybe a lot. Well, we may notice that we experience types of fear all day long, and actually some fear can be very helpful. It keeps us alive. It keeps us on guard against some things that may threaten our lives. I often think of, hiking on a cliff edge where fear is very helpful. It keeps me very focused on where I am putting my feet, making sure, to look around, to be stable. So there's some elements of fear that are actually helpful, keep us alive, it's good for us. And then there's all the times that fear limits us, prevents us from taking healthy steps, taking appropriate risk. Fear of failure, fear of being embarrassed. Well, that certainly had paralyzed me a lot in my life. There's so many things I did not do because of fear. And this journey of mine over the last 40 years has been one in which my growth process has been taking that next healthy step, walking through a fear, walking through an insecurity. Doesn't mean the fear didn't show up. Fearlessness is really recognizing that the fear is there, whether it's a subtle insecurity or a real, tense, almost paralyzing fear, and doing the next healthy thing anyway. This journey of fearlessness has been one in which this very insecure human being who didn't know how normal people lived, who compared how I felt on the inside with how everyone appeared on the outside. Not good enough. Well, it's been quite a journey over these 40 years of taking little steps, overcoming little fears, enrolling in my first college class late in life, showing up to test myself, showing up to teach high school as a high school teacher. Boy, I'll tell you, new experience. I wasn't much of a high school student. But this understanding about fearlessness means that we are worth getting out of our comfort zone. We are worth growth. Growth comes not because we decide to grow, but because we actually put into action the steps that allow us to grow. And our growth comes from walking through insecurities, fears. It comes from trying new things. It comes from taking appropriate risks. It comes from getting out of our comfort zone. Little bits at a time. Not a big, hey, I'm going to face my biggest, deepest fears right away. It's often best learned by noticing the subtle forms of fear that arise, that limit us, that prevent us from just maybe being helpful when we feel like it's awkward, and doing it anyway. Showing up and being willing to get through some shyness. Yeah. Fearlessness is really this cornerstone of our own personal growth. It's how we discover our inner resources, our strength, our capacities. That young man who walked into my first room of my whole recovery process back in 1984. Wow, you want to talk about scared. To, 40 years later, having the opportunity to have actually been a school teacher, been a counselor, been a Buddhist monk. I mean, the journey that I get to be on today, and hopefully try to be helpful, well, it's been one of walking through both small and intense fears. And again, didn't mean the fear didn't show up. As a matter of fact, because the fear showed up, I was aware. And over time, learned to do the next healthy, meaningful thing anyway. So I invite you to notice some of the little fears that show up in your day that might prevent you from taking a step towards growth. And take that step anyway. And remember, you're worth it.